Today we'll be learning about figures of speech, alliteration, and anaphora. Now, first of all, what even is a figure of speech? A figure of speech is a form of expression,
plays a significant role in literature,
and when it's used while writing, it makes it memorable,
and it's used to create an effect.
and you use words in a different way than their usual meaning. Now, today we'll be learning about alliteration and anaphora. So let's start. Alliteration.
An alliteration is when you use the first letter or sound of a word multiple times in a phrase. Example, Susie saw a silly seal. The child bounced the ball at the barbecue. Keep the closet clean, Kyle.
So as you can see in the first example, Susie saw silly seal all starts with the letter S and is repeated 4 times. Now, what is the purpose of alliteration? It's used to create a poetic element while writing, to create a mood or a tone,
Example, happy, sad, excited.
and to generate a rhythm to make it fun.
Caffeine, my morning moving machine. Why should you use it? Tongue twisters.
How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
Emphasize particular phrases or emotions. Great marketing tool.
Example, Coca-Cola and Captain Crunch.
Enhance the beauty of writing.
Now this is a daily usage of alliteration. PayPal.
A quote by Shakespeare. She left the heaven of heroes and came down to make a man to meet the mortal need. That tender, tragic, ever-changing face, here was a man to hold against the world, a man to match the mountains and the sea.
So as you can see in the last phrase, man, match, mountains, all start with the letter M and is repeated 4 times. Let's move on to anaphora.
What is an anaphora? Repetition of a word or phrases. Go big or go home. When I was a child, I spoke as a child. I understood as a child. I thought as a child. 5 years have passed, 5 summers, with the length of 5 long winters. And again I hear these waters.
So as you can see in the second example, child is repeated multiple times in the phrase. Now what's the purpose of anaphora? To move the reader, to get your point to the reader, and to make an emotion or a feeling speak.
Why should you use it? Emphasis.
To make your point stand out and give it attention.
To make a reader think.
Reflect on themselves and ask themselves why.
Emotional engagement.
Make them feel the same way as you and understand why. Now this is an example of anaphora in Martin Luther King's speech, I Have a Dream.
If America is to be a great nation, this must become true. So let freedom reign. From the prodigious hilltops of New Hampshire, let freedom reign. From the mighty mountains of New York, let freedom reign. From the hiking Alleghenies of Pennsylvania.
So as you can see, politicians use this often to express a message that they want to get through to the people.
If America is to be a great
Here's a quote about it. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. It was the age of wisdom, it was the age of foolishness. A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens.
So as you can see, is repeated multiple times through this paragraph.
Another quote says, we shall go on the end, we shall fight in France, we shall fight on the seas and the ocean. We shall fight with growing confidence and growing strength in the air. We shall defend our island, whatever the cost may be. We shall fight on the beaches. We shall fight on the landing grounds. We shall fight on the fields and the streets. We shall fight on the hills, and we shall never surrender.
So as you can see, every phrase starts with we shall fight and it's repeated multiple times. Now here are some tips and tricks to find alliteration and anaphora. Now first of all, alliteration is found when you use the same first letter sounds in phrases.
The repetition of the first letter.
And for anaphora, you can look for a message that the author is trying to put light on.
The repetition of words in many phrases.
Now here's an exercise.
The exercise, the winters seemed longer, but the winters seemed happier, and the winters were quieter. Blue birds balanced on the black oak's bark and could feel the cold breeze. The snow shimmered slowly, and the skates to later slip up and shine.
Now as you can see, the anaphora is at the beginning, the winters is repeated 3 times, and the alliteration is in blue birds balance, black bark, and breeze all starts with the letter B, and the third phrase, snow shimmered slowly, skates slipped and shine, all starts with the letter S.
Thank you for listening.